Let's say I'm an ordinary citizen of England. I regularly attend religious services, play a bunch of club sports, utilize our London Heathrow Airport for traveling, when suddenly I heard some interesting news. A few years ago, England announced Brexit, which is going to be the eventual exit from the European Union. Naturally, I was nervous about this, as it would mean a multitude of different things. Air travel would be a little more difficult, as instead of going right through the customs immigration line, I would have to go through the international terminal every time I want to go to another country, like Spain or Portugal. Additionally, the European Union is closely knit together on areas such as trade, and we are receiving fewer tariffs as a result. I worry about increased tariffs if England is not on a level playing field. Luckily, there are some positives of Brexit. It is possible they will be able to develop their own improved trade deals since they are not held together by the European Union. This will allow them to promote individualism since they can focus on their self-interests. Luckily, the United States is close by, and I hope that they may be able to make some good deals and acquire American cars with very few tariffs. Lastly, England will no longer have to pay billions and billions of dollars in membership fees to the European Union, and this money can always be reinvested to improve the country's infrastructure. Overall, I've learned about the pros and cons of Brexit. I also see how what England is doing is relating to Hostfeed's dimensions, as individualism is going to be evident in England, as they're going to be focusing on themselves instead of the European Union, since eventually they will no longer be in it. I'm going to England this summer, so I may be able to observe some of the changes firsthand. I would so like to know what the long-term impacts of Brexit could be 10 to 20 years from now, as we're still only in the beginning stages and we're not 100% sure what will happen down the road. Let's say I'm an ordinary citizen of Portugal. As a citizen, I attend church, speak Portuguese, play golf on great golf courses, and surf the waves at some of our great beaches. However, recently, a more controversial topic has come to fruition in Portugal. Recently, it was announced that the capital city of Lisbon wants to have a museum that makes individuals more aware of the country's past slavery. I can see how this is both a controversial and excellent topic. First, The Guardian states how Portugal is a huge player in the Atlantic slave trade, which is part of the reason why African Americans ended up in countries throughout Europe and the United States. Additionally, attending the museum will allow the Portuguese people to appreciate the black individuals living in their country as they endured tough times. However, I also understand that some individuals will think this museum is horrible because it's celebrating killings and the brutal treatment of black individuals. I believe that this museum will be more effective if Portugal also puts an exhibit that demonstrates how Portugal is a more even country today. This would demonstrate collectivism, as the country would be catering to both sides of the debate. Overall, I never realized that Portugal was a huge part of the Atlantic slave trade and that Portugal has some of the largest waves in the world. Previously, I did not know much about Portugal and thought it was a free country with pretty little history. However, I would also potentially like to know more about why the slave trade took place in Portugal and why it was an ideal location.